Hello viewers, 4DIYers here, back with a tutorial video for everyone. Now in this particular video here, I'll be doing a demonstration on how to replace the HVAC panel button assembly on your BMW E39. Now this particular vehicle I am working on here is a 1997 BMW 540i. Now what can happen over time is these buttons will fatigue and finally break. Now when these buttons do break, some of these can't be controlled actually anymore. So say if you want heat up, you can't actually go heat down unless you do the reset on them. Now this is required to remove the whole HVAC control unit from the dashboard in order to replace this panel. Now what I have here is I've purchased a new button assembly, which surprisingly did come in a full panel, so it does make it a lot easier for this replacement. Now in order to remove the panel, there will be various clips that go around the outside here. So you have 4 along the bottom side here. You don't have any on the sides, luckily. And then you also have 4 on the top side as well. Now you can go ahead and use just a flat screwdriver and just pop it underneath to hold it in place. But what I'll be doing this, I'll be just doing it by hand, considering there isn't a whole lot of pressure on there. And once you start popping these apart, then it just simply pops out and it's fairly easy. Now while we do have this apart, it's probably a good idea just to clean any dust out of the circuit board here, especially the fan here. These fans can get noisy after a while if they do have an excessive buildup of dust here. Now this circuit board just simply pops out here. You'll have 2 plastic tabs in the back side here. What I found here is just to press them in slightly. Be careful not to break them, but just enough so it just kind of breaks it free from the inside there. You have the one on the opposite side there. Once you have it out a little ways, then go ahead and pop that out. And then the fan just pulls off like so. Now in order to remove the internal circuit board in here behind this panel, again exact same principle from splitting down the case here. You will have a series of, you can see these metal tabs in the inside here that go all the way around. There's 5 on this side, none on the sides, and then also 5 on this side as well. Now what we'll do here is we'll just simply spread it apart like so, work our way around. Now you can use a flat screwdriver if you want. I'm going to make do without one, and then pop that out. Now if you did notice in the video when I did pop it apart, all these contacts did fall out there. Now that's perfectly fine. These little contacts here, they just simply sit in the back side of this button assembly here, and then once you press one of the buttons, then they do make contact on the circuit board here. So all you want to do here is just simply transfer those from the old one to the new one like so. Now if you notice how they kind of fit in there though, you'll have a, I hope you can see that well enough on the camera. You can see we have like a little bar, plastic bar that sticks down there, and then we'll have a spring side on the one and then another contact on the opposite side there. So once we do install that in the new panel here, what you want to do is you want to put it in the slot closest to that side, that little bar, and then just simply slides into place. Now when putting this together, you'll have to be careful, make sure those don't fall out. And when you are taking this apart, you want to make sure you don't lose those also. Now all of these little contacts are interchangeable throughout the whole board. And the only part I found is that the one located right in the center here does go in the opposite orientation there. So it goes that way as opposed to that way. Then you also have to remove, set that back in place here so I won't lose it. You also have to remove the one little clear plug here, which is right there, and I'm just putting a little pressure on the face of it. I was able to push it out with just a toothpick there, just pops right out. Then once you have it out there, you can see it's got a mushroomed over end on the opposite side, and we'll push that into the new hole. Now just before I put this portion back on here, around the screen it had a little bit of, I'm not sure if it was coffee or juice or what it was sticky anyway. So I did clean that around the outside there, just ensured everything is nice and clean when I put it back together. Now again here you have a temperature sensor, which I believe is for the climate control in order to maintain it. So you want to clean this before you do put it back together. If it is dirty, it will get a incorrect reading. I just use a very soft toothbrush as well as a little bit of contact cleaner on there. And once you reinstall the panel on the back side, you should have something that looks like this. Now this is very tricky to put back into place. And I found the easiest way, you can't lie it on the surface and have the buttons pushing up, because it'll pop the clips or those little push tabs on the inside out. And then they'll kind of fall out of the holes, and then when you go push it down, they'll kind of jam up and they won't fall back into place so easily. So the easiest way I found was to put it on its face again, but have something on each side here where it doesn't bother any of the buttons. Once you do that, you slowly work this panel down and make sure it's even all the way around until you get to the very end, and so you can start snapping it into place. Some of the snaps might go in a little harder, so you do have to put a little pressure on them. But again, be gentle, because this is a circuit board and you don't want to break the new plastic housing or your existing plastic housing either, or bend those tabs in behind there. Now just before you snap it back into place, it should hold together fairly well, so you can go ahead and try all the buttons to ensure everything does work correctly as it should. So once you've cleaned up the fan here, what I just did is just use this toothbrush and just blew it off. Didn't have to use any soap and water or anything like that. Dust just came right off of it. Now with this case here, I also clean the dust out of it as well. Figure while I'm at it, while it's apart, might as well clean it out, just so everything does work properly and you don't have any risks of anything overheating or anything such as that. Now with the case here, it's a little harder to clean. I did use a toothbrush for a majority of it. The rest of it I had to just spray a little bit of water inside to rinse it out. Again, you want to make sure that is dry if you do go with that route before you do install everything back together, just to ensure it doesn't have any effects on the circuit board. So once you're done with everything there, and then snap this all back together. Circuit board just slides back into the case, basically reverse installation, and this faceplate just pops over top of the back part. Once you've done that, you can then go ahead and put it back in your car and ensure that everything works correctly. So that concludes the rest of my tutorial video. If you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to post them below. Also, please subscribe to my channel and like my video. Thank you for watching.